glad we got that out of the way. Bruce Lipton's in the house. Bruce Lipton.
Joe Rogan
Excuse me.
Experience.
Bruce Lipton is in the house. Hit the what? What are you doing, man? What did you do?
I don't know.
What
The
did you?
Joe Rogan
This is a mess. The
Experience.
show's a mess right away. I apologize. We're dealing with a serious man here. We can't even get our shit together. Bruce Lipton, the author of The Biology of Belief. And we're going to learn some shit today, freaks, because I talked to Bruce Lipton for about 30 seconds before this podcast started, and I already was like too anxious to get the commercials out of the way, because this is a fascinating subject to me, and you are a guy who actually has like letters next to your name. So like people are gonna listen to you. It says PhD. This guy knows what the fuck he's talking about, right? It's not like if I write a book, The Biology of Belief, Joe Rogan, comedian, Fear Factor host. Nobody's gonna give a fuck, all right? But you, sir, you command respect with your ideas.
I tell you, I am the happiest guy ever because all of this stuff was new to me. I never believed in it when I was doing my research. So to find out things like the concept of a spirit and an energy and how the mind controls life. When I was teaching genes control life, and it was like, boy, is that an error? Boy, is that wrong? Out.
So consciousness, you believe, controls life?
No, I believe consciousness actually does control life, and it's very simple to understand it. And what you really start to find out is that our consciousness either enhances us, like a placebo effect, or the same consciousness can take away your strength and kill you, which is called a nocebo effect. There's actually a name for that. So it's the power of your thinking, and the thinking is, who are we? And we've been programmed to believe that we're frail and vulnerable, like all kinds of things are out there to get us, and we have to protect ourselves and all that. And it's like, this is totally insane because we're so powerful that we even don't believe it. It's just amazing things. Like, okay, you can say something simple like walking across hot coals. Okay, it's like you can walk across hot coals if you believe you can do it, but you can't do it if you don't believe you can't walk across the coals. And so belief comes into it. Or, Joe, you're a big health guy and all this stuff. So I asked you, if we go out here in the parking lot, can you lift up a car? You got a lot of training and stuff like that, but do you think you could lift up a car?
No.
Well, interesting. I got so many articles from around the world about women lifting up cars when a baby or their child is trapped under the car.
And this is all true, because I've heard these stories too, but I never really Googled them.
No, they're absolutely true, and there's large numbers of them. And what does that mean? It means like this untrained, unathletic woman could go out there and lift up the car. Okay, and so that's pretty neat. But here's one I really think is cool. Down south, there's this Baptist fundamentalist kind of people that get into a religious ecstasy state, and they do what they call testify that God protects them. So they believe that God protects them. And so what do? They do strange crap like they handle snakes, like rattlesnakes and copperhead snakes. They're snake handlers. So they get bitten by the snakes. Nothing happens when they're in this state of belief. But those are the lightweights. The serious ones are the ones, they drink strychnine in toxic doses to demonstrate, to show the proof that God protects them. They drink this absolute poison. No harmful effects.
Wow.
No harmful effects, Brian. It's the most. They're insane-looking people when they do it, but the fact is, they drink poison, but it's in the belief system. And why?
So this is all stuff that's been documented, right?
Oh yeah.
What was your initial background as a scientist? What did you?
I trained as a cell biologist, and I started doing cell cultures back on stem cells in 1967. That's so long ago. That's some years ago, right? And the thing was, there was just a handful of us in the entire world working on stem cells at that time. And the results from those studies were so completely different than what I was teaching medical students about how life worked, about how genes control life, because it showed that genes did not control the biology. Genes do not control it. The control is how a cell or an organism responds to the environment. So an organism becomes a complement to their environment. And you say, well, why is that important? I say, well, if you live in a crappy environment, then your biology becomes crap. And the issue is it the real environment? It's actually the mental environment.
So that's why it's so important, and everyone sort of knows this, but it's so important to surround yourself with positive people and not be around a bunch of energy vampires. Because there's people that are caught in a downward spiral, and if you are with them, their gravity can bring you into a shitty place.
That's an absolute truth. That's a quantum physics aspect to who we are. There's more than this physical reality, and energy is actually who we are. So the flow of energy determines how we are.
Isn't it funny, though, that idea is so easily dismissed? It seems like such a woo-woo idea.
Yes.
I
can tell you why. It's money.
I'm scared of it.
It's money.
Well, it's also fear.
Well, it might be fear, but I'll tell you more so is very simply the science that we have in the textbooks today is more or less a product of paid advertising from the pharmaceutical company. Wow. And the significance, why I mean that is, let me ask you a question, Joe. I mean, obviously, are you aware there's much more effective ways to create energy besides burning fossil fuel?
I mean, I'm not really aware of all the options.
But there aren't there? I mean, solar and all this other kind of stuff.
I know about solar, but I don't know if solar necessarily generates enough energy to replace it right now.
Well, that's our technology. But the question is, we have all this new technology, and the question is, why are we still so preoccupied with burning fossil fuel? Because it's not in the interest of the petroleum company to support anything that would take away the sale of their product. They sell oil. What good is it? And then I say, now here's the exact parallel. It's like you can heal yourself with energy. You can heal yourself with thoughts. You can heal yourself with the right vibrational food and everything else around it by dealing with the vibration part. So you say, well, we know this for 1,000 years. Why isn't it recognized by the world? And the answer is, it's not in the interest of an industry that sells drugs. Because if I can heal you for free, then what are you going to do with the drug market?
Do you think do you think they're suppressing it, or do you think there's just never been any evidence demonstrated that it works on any sort of a large, measurable level?
There's quite a bit of evidence, but it's really evidence that's not talked about in the public, and it's very difficult to get published.
I'm sure there is, but what I mean is it's not like it's in their face and they're trying to suppress it. You know what I mean? I think it's just, I think a lot of people are just ignorant to the idea. I don't know if it's being suppressed as much as just a lot of people really don't know how things work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But then the limitation of what are we being programmed with? What are the beliefs what beliefs did you get programmed with about your life? For a very simple reason. If you get down to the simple understanding how your mind controls your genetics and your biological behavior, then you have to recognize, then the question is, what programs have you been programmed with? Because those are the programs that are going to shape your life. And the belief system is, can you drink strychnine, Joe? Yes or no? And the answer is, well, if you don't believe you can, then don't even go there,
Or if you have any doubts at all.
Yeah, a belief like that is like pregnancy. You either believe it or you don't believe it, but there's no geez, I almost really believe this. It's not going to work.
Do you think it's fascinating that a lot of the people that are pushing that belief are actually, they actually are caught up in it themselves? The people that are suppressing information,
yes.
The people that are, they even if they're aware of it.
Yes.
They're doing it to themselves as well.
That's why you can't say there's a conspiracy at some level. No, it's not a conspiracy.
It's almost like it's
self-interest.
Yeah.
It's self-interest. This is my interest. This is my belief. Look, there are a lot of religious people out there trying to shape my behavior today, right?
Right.
It's like that's their behavior. Well, they're trying to shape my behavior with it. It's sort of like the science people that tell their science are almost like religious people that say this is our story. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, but there's a bigger story than what you saw in the book.
So is it just that it's not measurable? I mean,
no, it's measurable. I can show you hundreds of papers on all kinds of things about electromagnetic fields, that vibrational fields can control every function of the cell. They can control the synthesis of DNA. It can control the cell division. It can control what we call differentiation, where like an embryonic cell becomes a muscle cell or a bone cell. It controls the organization of cells. There are demonstrations of this all the time. Vibrational frequencies with exact frequencies cause cells to have very specific biological responses.
So if it was up to you, would this be something that they would be teaching kids in school, like on a regular basis, to try to explain
Absolutely.
At a very early age how important it is to think in a positive way and to act in a positive way and surround yourself with positive people, that it's not just a luxury that you're looking, I just want to settle down and be around, where it's quiet. It's not that, but it actually is like you can establish your environment.
It comes down to a simple point. We are creating this life that's in front of us at this moment.
Wow.
This is a creation. And this is the nature of what quantum mechanics. Look, quantum mechanics came up with a very simple problem and said, wait, is the fundamental particle that makes an atom, is it physical or is it vibrational? Is it a particle like a piece of something, or is it just a vibrational field? And the answer came out, because it can't be both.
Right.
One's solid and the other one's an energy wave, right? It's like, and yet it comes out when they do the experiment. If you think it's a particle and you design the experiment to see a particle, you see a particle. If you think it's a wave and design an experiment to determine a wave, then you see it as a wave. And the question, well, how can it be a wave and a particle? You can't be both at the same time. The conclusion of the physicists, and this is fundamental, is that it's the observer that's determining that reality. It's the way you look at it. If you look at it like
but
a
how
wave,
far does that go? Does it go to
that
car
goes down-
accidents and animal
Ultimately-
attacks? I mean, how much of this are we creating?
Well, this is a co-participation. So we're creating, but we're also participating in the creation. So it's not a single event. I mean, if it was a single event, I'd say, okay, hey, let's end all this war and crap and let's clean up this place. Let's have a good time. My voice as a single voice obviously just didn't change anything.
Right.
But if you get enough voices to say the same thing, then what you're doing is you're amplifying the field. The more people that are in tune with the same voice, it becomes a crowd response. It's like, even like in soccer games in Europe, when they get crazy, they always break out into these big fights and stuff like that. A pacifist sitting in the middle, one of those vegan pacifist guys sitting in the middle, if there's a fight that breaks out all around, they will be caught up in the energy of a crowd response. And it won't be their consciousness that's controlling them then. Now they're just caught in the field. And they will pick up a chair and club somebody over the head with it like anybody else in that field. Even though at that moment when they were being conscious, they were pacifists. But once they got caught in the field, they became part of the field. So the issue is, what field are we living in right now? And the field it's in a state of flux. And this is really critical because your audience is so involved with this upheaval that's happening right now, changing the fields, that there's an evolution going on. And it really is going to be a fine subdivision between like the 40s and unders and the people over 40. I think there's going to be a separation at some point, except there are a lot of wonderful old people, like myself, old people.
Do you think the internet has anything to do with it, though? 'Cause
the
that's
internet
about
has-
the age group that the internet
The internet has everything to do with it. The internet is the nervous system of a new organism. And what's evolving? Here's what's important. Sometimes we think, when humans evolve, how are they going to be evolved? They're going to get bigger heads and change their bodies. It's like, no, look, the human evolved. That's done. Cockroach evolved. The cockroach evolved 600 million years ago. It's still the same cockroach. The human evolved. It's going to stay the same human. The evolution is not of the human. It's of the community of humans. Each human is the equivalent of a cell in the body of a superorganism called humanity. The evolution is the evolution of humanity. That's why the Arab Spring. That's why the breakdown of politics all over the place. That's why the thing is falling apart. People all over the world are recognizing we're all people in the same thing called humanity. And so we have to break free of the limitations that we have been programmed with. And in that breaking free, which means changing the thoughts, changing the beliefs, getting into a new understanding, we are on the threshold of an evolution that's so amazing. And what's interesting is that people look around right now, they're scared to death. And I'm going, oh, you don't understand. This is the most important stage. The simple reason is this. The institutions that have provided for us up to this point, that helped get us here, they were important for a period of time. Economics, education, healthcare, politics, religion, all those things were helpful to get to a certain point. Now they're destructive because their belief systems end up having us destroy the planet. So this is a simple fact. This is not, I'm just saying it. This is a fact. Science has recognized we are deep into the sixth mass extinction of life on this planet. 5 times in the history of this planet, life got essentially wiped out and started all over again. Those are called mass extinctions, such as like a comet or asteroid hitting the planet, destroying the environment, wiping out life, start all over again. This is the 6th one. This is a fact. We are losing species of organisms faster than recorded history or unrecorded history, as we know right now, meaning we're accelerating the loss of the biosphere right now. Why is this important? Is because we're part of that extinction. And now here's the neat part about it. The source of our extinction is human behavior. Simple as that. We are so undermining the environment. We were created from the environment.